Good evening. My name is Jennifer Blesch. I'm in the School of Natural Resources and Environment, and I'm really pleased to be able to introduce John Vandermeer this evening, an eminent ecologist in our Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, integral to the formation of the Sustainable Food Systems Initiative. His favorite food is pio nono, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a Puerto Rican dish that he tells me is very protein-heavy and deep-fried. Sounds delicious. And this evening, he's going to offer a new plan for the revolution in agriculture in 5 minutes.
Okay. In this drawing, we see the early enthusiasm with industrializing agriculture. Almost a caricature, we see the agricultural machines of the day concentrated in the factory, driven by the power of a single steam engine, the birth of industrial agriculture. But it wasn't until the Second World War that we saw, that got screwed up, didn't it? That's what I started with. But it wasn't until the Second World War that we saw the real revolution in agriculture. Faced with the devastating consequences of peace, companies equivalent to the likes of Monsanto and Dow Chemical needed to find new outlets for their poisons. Through remarkably clever propaganda, what is called today advertising, they convinced farmers the world over that insect pests were just like fascists and needed to be fought with powerful weapons. Thus, the farmer, formerly thought of as a caretaker of the land, now became a soldier in the fight against the invading armies. The result was what had long been the dream, the takeover of agriculture by what was then the millionaire class, now known as the billionaire class. And today we face in the world as a whole this vision with an enormous and growing social and environmental cost. Yet about the same time as the capitalist system began its assault on agriculture, Sir Alfred Howard was sent by Queen Victoria to India to teach the Indian farmers the wonders of the new industrial agricultural system. But Howard instead watched those Indian farmers. He listened to them. He found that he had more to learn from them than they from him. He learned the wisdom of listening to the wisdom of the people with direct connection to the land. Much earlier, and repeated many times since then, the levelers, popularly known as the diggers because of their agricultural connections, challenged illegitimate political power, rescued lands for the tillers, and generally set the stage for the thousands of rural rebellions that still today circle the globe. Perhaps the most important figure historically is Rachel Carson, whose book Silent Spring ushered in an environmental revolution. But Carson's work was actually quite a bit deeper than Silent Spring. In 2 of her previous books, she anticipated what modern ecology is all about. It is kind of the intersection of nature and complex systems and, when applied to agriculture, incorporates a necessary socio-political component to become what we today recognize as agroecology. So we have the ideas of learning from farmers, of applying ecology to agriculture, and most importantly, challenging political power. Now there's a recipe for revolution. But the old industrial system is still here, still trying to teach the Indian farmers how to farm, encouraging yet more industrialization, more pesticides, more GMOs, more subsidies for rich landowners. And they repeat endlessly the lie that only with the industrial model can we meet our needs. But has been documented over and over. It is a small-scale farmer using agroecological techniques that already feeds most of the world and has the potential to feed all of it, whether the current 6 billion or a future of 9 or 10 or whatever. As for example, these local examples from Ann Arbor and Detroit, or these biodiverse tropical farms and the farmers who protect them protesting at a global forum. Study after study reveals that the industrial system is wasteful, produces bad food, destroys the environment. In short, it is killing us and our planet. The alternative, agroecology practiced by small-scale farmers, is what will save us. The scientific data say so. But scientific data don't really matter much when the serious men in suits with briefcases arrive. All that utopian idealism is quaint, they say, but we live in the real world. We must be realistic. What John Stuart Mills would say is they are baffled by the problem of world hunger and know no solution except the spraying of more pesticides on new patented protected crops. Being baffled and also being very tired of being baffled, they have come to believe that there is no way out. No way to remove all the bewildering paradoxes of the tedious problems. In place of these paradoxes, they preferred the bright, clear problems as they used to be, of increasing yields, which coincidentally implies increasing profits of their investment portfolio. They are crackpot realists. The formalism of crackpot realism, in case you want to practice being one, is problem X is caused by Y and has nothing to do with Z. It would be very difficult and personally uncomfortable to change Y. Let us change Z and hope that X goes away. It's the classic story of the drunk who loses his keys on one side of the street and searches on the other side because the light is better there. Monsanto says that we need to be realistic and accept being sprayed with a probable carcinogenic, the price we pay for cheap food. That's crackpot realism. And we don't have to go to the other side of the world, which is St. Louis, to find more crackpots. Right here in Michigan, the Dow Chemical Company, beloved funder of the University of Michigan, is telling us about realism also. Since glyphosate no longer works so well, they're going to give us 2,4-D, a chemical that in June of this year was listed as a possible carcinogen. But not to worry, be realistic, say the crackpots. A long time ago, some revolutionaries confronted the crackpot realists. And today, revolutionaries again confront the crackpots. To Margaret Thatcher's "there is no other alternative," they say another world is possible, and I think they're right. They are the real realists. They say you cannot solve a problem if you are in bed with the folks who caused the problem in the first place, so let's be realistic. Divest of industrial agriculture and invest in food sovereignty. Thank you.